Okay, so in our lesson today, we are going to be taking a look at paragraph starters. So this is a lesson that's going to focus on transitions. I know most of you guys already know what transitions are, but when I write, I oftentimes want to think about how am I going to start off my paragraph. So my guiding question that I want to write is, how do I want to start off my paragraph? And so when I take a look at wanting to start off my paragraph, I could essentially, and you can kind of see my question, how do I want to start off my paragraph? This could actually be what is a fill in the blank. So we could then actually get rid of start off and I could say, how do I want to continue my paragraph? How do I want to conclude my paragraph? So essentially where I'm going to focus right now is to start off so that way we have a place to take a look at how you're introducing ideas and concepts. But this sentence frame and this question really can be an open-ended where we can fill in the blank so that way we can then develop, continue, and conclude our ideas. So don't think that this is only going to apply for starting off a paragraph. Rather, it's actually a springboard to get you to think about how you can start off, continue, and conclude. So I'm going to bring this back up here. And so when we take a look at our paragraphs, one of the biggest things that we are going to want to do is we want to make sure our ideas are clear and we know what we're talking about. Try starting off with a sentence that sets the topic of the paragraph in motion. And that's usually your what, right? So if we're thinking about how we would start with a sentence that sets our topic up and it's introduced in the very beginning, what is that called? Now, if you said that it's called a topic sentence or a thesis, you would be correct. So in our body paragraphs, we generally begin with our topic sentence or one of the reasons that we are going to establish throughout that paragraph for our writing. So this establishes the direction in which the paragraph is going to take. And essentially it explains a transition from, one idea to another when we get into moving our paragraph along. So let's think about some of these things. I want you to think about like your graphic organizer or your notes where you've been writing your introduction and your first and second and now third body paragraph. I want you to take a look at the first sentence in each body paragraph. So take a moment, pause the video. Now that you've pulled up your body paragraph, I want you to think about when you read that first sentence, is it clear what this paragraph will be about, right? And do you think you need a transition from this paragraph to maybe another one, like your second body paragraph, or say from your introduction to your first body paragraph? Do you need some type of a transition to go from the intro to the first body, or maybe from the first body paragraph to the second body paragraph, etc.? What would you put there? Like, what would that be if you were in fact going to add a transition? So I want you to think about that because you're going to want to check the beginning of your paragraphs and think about, can you connect your ideas seamlessly? And then what would you include to make this clearer? So let's, for instance, right, we can give a transition phrase such as later that day. Now, these are examples, right? That's to show a transition in time. We can also use ones like first, right? And these are looking at transitions that deal with time, right? Second, we could do next, right? In the end, right? These are things that are going to signal transitions for time. So you can, in almost a list-like fashion or sequence, right, in terms of a text structure that's dealing with sequential movement or time, you're going to look at things that deal with time as far as transitions. But now let's look at transitions in the orange in the middle column here that helps set up a topic or your subtopic, right? You could say something like, the first thing to understand, right? ... And you can go ahead and elaborate that way to add additional information, right? You can also do, one of the most common I see in your writing is, for example, ... I see that a lot. And then this is something else I don't see as much of, but is absolutely appropriate. And it mimics, for example, where you're adding additional information. So another kind of evidence, another kind of example, another kind of instance. This is another way to say that. When you're adding additional information, you could use words like additionally, also, further, or even furthermore. These are things in terms of transitions in the orange that help set up topics or subtopics. And the purpose of that is you're adding additional information. Where would I put this? So think about your setup for a body paragraph. You start with your topic sentence, then you give a piece of evidence or something from your sources to provide an example, and then you want to analyze that. So you're basically stating a claim with some evidence, and then your reasoning, and you're doing that throughout your body paragraph. So in order to kind of move yourself as you're progressing from the claim to the evidence to the reasoning, this is a great way to do that in terms of setting up that topic or subtopic to propel it. Connecting ideas, so one idea to another, right? You could say, as a result, ... So as a result of the study, right, researchers concluded that. And so that's a good way to do that. Also important, so you're moving from one idea that's important, say in your body paragraph, from one piece of evidence after you've analyzed it, to now another piece of evidence to support the same concept that's also important on that same topic within a body paragraph. So this is a great one to use. Despite, right? So you would say, despite that, you know, and this is good for a counterclaim. So despite that, you know, sports can, you know, cause kids to be tired or maybe miss class because they have to get on a bus to go to a game. You know, the benefits outweigh the negatives because students are able to combat obesity, etc. So this is a great one in terms of acknowledging, although there are some issues, right, that are mentioned from the other side of your topic, yours is essentially still the best. So you're acknowledging that, but not giving away everything in terms of connecting ideas. So despite is a good one for a counter, right? So in addition to one idea, right, to another, so in addition to the fact that obesity rates are combated through sports and education, sports allow students to be able to socialize. So I could use the frame in addition to connect my ideas. What you're going to do is you're going to take a look at your body paragraphs, and you have 3 different options because you want to think about, how am I starting off my body paragraph, right? So this was our guiding question for today. How do I start off my body paragraph? We have 3 essential ideas. We have transitions that show time, transitions that set up a topic or subtopic, and transitions that connect ideas. What you're going to do today is you're going to take a look at your body paragraph, and you're going to identify one of these that's going to help you start off your new paragraph. Also, we're going to get into taking a look at your traditional transitions where you're looking at conclusions. Therefore, ergo, in conclusion, in summation. These are ones that are going to end up, right, wrapping up your ideas. So don't forget, right, you can add transitions at the end, but we want to make sure that we're going to focus and start strong as we then start off and then develop our body paragraphs.